and welcome back to my film and TV channel. And we've got a little series today to look at. Yes, on Netflix. So we're going over to the world of Netflix, and we're going to have a look. It's Thursday, so we're going to have a look at Wednesday. We're going to have a look at Wednesday today. Please, if you are new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications. Great to have you on board. Please spread the word. All things film and TV, film reviews, drama reviews, series reviews, etc., etc. Excuse me. Information blogs as well. So it'd be great to have you on board. Right, today, please give that little button a press, a little like button, make an old film and TV watcher happy. Much appreciated if you can spare that split second to do that for me. Right, Wednesday, yes, it is, of course, a coming-of-age supernatural comedy, 8-episode television series based upon the character Wednesday Addams from the Addams Family. Yeah, I think they're all about 55 minutes. There's a little bit... In the old days, they used to cut these things right down to a certain set time when it used to go onto TV with adverts, etc. Even on the BBC, it used to be a set time, but now they sort of wander around a certain time. The editing, they don't have to worry too much about it being spot on, do they? Well, that seems to be the thing, anyway. Okay, the character Wednesday Addams, of course, from the Addams Family, one of my favourites as a kid, and still is to some extent. So I was looking forward to this. Created by Alfred Gough and Miles Miller, stars Jenna Ortega as the title character, but we've also got Christina Ricci in this as well, which is nice. Catherine Zeta-Jones, Louis Guzman, Isaac Ordonez, Gwendolyn Christie, Ricky Lindorn, Jamie McShane, and Fred Armisen. So obviously all bits and pieces as well, but they're the main guys. 4 out of the 8 episodes are actually directed by Tim Burton, who also serves as executive producer for the series. And Wednesday premiered on November the 16th, 2022, and was released on Netflix on November 23rd. So I think it just had a little theatrical run or a special run, special previews, etc. The plot, well, Wednesday, as you'd expect, is expelled from a high school. I don't know why. She's doing nothing. I've seen people like her at every high school after dumping live piranhas in the school's pool. Well, perhaps that's why then. I must admit, the opening, that sequence was very, very good. I'm not going to say it was downhill after that, but yeah, that was one of the better things in the series. The boys' swim team, obviously, is the aim of the Wednesday's vengeance, if you like, revenge, for bullying her brother Pugsley. This leads her parents, Gomez and Morticia Addams, to enrol her in Nevermore Academy in Jericho, Vermont, a school for monstrous outcasts once attended by her parents. Monstrous outcasts, I suppose they are. Wednesday's cold, emotionless personality and a defiant nature make it difficult for her to connect with her schoolmates. Loads like them, isn't there? And cause her to run afoul of the school's principal. Yes, a familiar face there. We'll talk about that later. However, she discovers she has psychic abilities that help her solve a local murder mystery with the help of Jericho's chef. Well, it goes on a little while. What are the public's reaction to this? Well, Rotten Tomatoes, 80% positivity from the public. Internet Movie Database is getting an average, I think this will drop, of 8.5 out of 10. There's a hell of a lot of 10 out of 10s in that. Meta user, their average, their public, their users, if you like, Metacritic users, 7.2 out of 10. So public, generally positive. What about the critics? They don't always agree, do they? Well, Rotten Tomatoes, 70% approval rating, so a little bit less than what the people who go on the site think. An average rate of 6.7 out of 10, which is still okay. That's based on 64 critics. Lucy Mangan is one of the fresh ones. She's from The Guardian. She said, certainly 11-year-old I keep on hand to test programmes. You keep someone locked up in a chair watching films. It sounds bad, that, doesn't it? It's just my brain, I suppose. Certainly the 11-year-old I keep on hand to test programmes aimed at the younger demographic was wrapped for the whole series. I just turn my 11-year-old brain on. That's all I have to do. I think it's easier for men. Probably easier for men than women. I'm not being cruel there. I think it probably is. And proclaimed himself deeply satisfied by both its resolutions and its cliffhanger. It sounds a very mature 11-year-old, Lucy. Dan Jolin from the Empire magazine. Excuse me. You might have hoped for better for the Addams family's best character. I did. But at least she's perfectly pitched by Jenna Ortega. She certainly is. Yeah, so I can't disagree with that. That's a positive, but yeah, the little bit of a negative there as well, wasn't there? Caroline Frankie, she's rotten on it though. She's from Variety magazine or Variety website. Despite Ortega's fantastic performance and Burton's active involvement, Wednesday as a whole never really captures what made the Addams family so viscerally strange, nor is it half as visually striking. Yeah, again, I don't disagree with that sentiment. The consensus where they stick all their heads together and get them stuck in there. The website's consensus reads Wednesday isn't exactly full of woe for viewers, but without Jenna Ortega in the lead, this Addams Family adjacent series might as well be another CW drama. Yeah, I've seen a few comments on that CW. I'm not bothered. I don't. I've watched a few CW dramas, but I mean, I try and watch these things as they are. I don't try and compare them with what other people are doing or what other organisations or other styles. I watch a film or series to be entertained. So I don't. Yeah, I understand the sentiment. I understand what's being said. Metacritic, the other site we look at, has got a score of 66 out of 100, so very similar to Rotten Tomatoes. That's based on 26 critics. 13 were positive, 12 were mixed, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with mixed. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just up and down in a series. And there's only one negative, so that's good. And it scored anywhere, though, between 33 and 100. So there was quite a few low scores considering those ratings. As I say, a lot of the mixed were scoring it quite low. The Independent's Nick Hilton, he only gave it 40 out of 100. He said, This is a world where everyone talks in zingy one-liners, where the creature's design is too scary for children, but too cartoonish for adults. Okay, depends what age the children are. 11-year-old was probably all right. Where the performances are more two-dimensional than the New Yorker comic strip in which the characters first appeared. For a show about vampires and werewolves, it has very little bite. Yes, Nick, I'm not going to disagree with that. That's a 40 out of bit harsh, but again, a few good points in there. CNN's Brian Lowry, though he liked it, he gave it 80 out of 100. And he said, although the main character's name was inspired by the poetic line, Wednesday's child is full of woe, Wednesday is generally a delight. She is. Thanks almost entirely to Jenny Ortega having outgrown her Disney Channel days. Ortega makes the Addams Family now high school age daughter the coolest, humorless goth sociopath you'll ever meet in a Netflix series that's more kooky than spooky or ooky. Yeah, well, that's a positive. Don't know where he got 80 from. He's got a bit higher there, hasn't he? Right, my thoughts, guys. I wanted to give this a higher score. There's just things in it that didn't really appeal. It was one of those that I look forward to tremendously. Of course, being an Adams Family fan, back to the old days and black and white episodes, stuff like that. And I was a little bit disappointed. I will give it a 6 out of 10. There was nothing wrong with it. It was watchable. 8 episodes. Whew. Yes, but before we talk about the 8 episodes, I mean that's one of the failings for me. 8 episodes times 50 odd minutes. It's just too long. It's certainly not too long if it's entertaining and fun and great to watch all the way through. But for the story we get, it just is. It's just not enough story, not enough. Plenty of characters. Perhaps he could have delved more into the characters themselves. I'm not too sure. But for what we get, 8 episodes is just far too long. And the other big failure, and unfortunately, he's not on the screen that much, but I just couldn't get into Luis Guzman's interpretation of Gomez. And I just thought it didn't work for me. It didn't. All right, you compare into film Gomez's and TV Gomez's from yonks ago and stuff like that, but it just didn't work. I like him personally as an actor. I've seen him. I've seen him in plenty of stuff, of course, but in this role, didn't ruin it, of course. But obviously, they say thankfully he's not in it that often. But it just didn't work for me. That was another failure. So that was probably. I mean, that was probably it. As I said, the 8 episodes could have been 4 or 5. But what's the point of that, if you like? So they scraped it out to 8, which is fair enough. But they're the failures. But there are plenty of pluses. I mean, it was nice to see 7 of 9. If you're not a Star Trek fan, you'll think, what the bloody hell am I on about? But Gwendoline Christie, of course, in her role, it's nice to see that. And Christina Ricci was a nice touch as well in her role. Catherine Zeta-Jones does a capable job if we're still on the acting role. And of course, as everyone sort of seems to comment, Jenna Ortega. Although again, as the episodes wore on, she lost something in a kookiness or a gothic gothness or style. She didn't, I think that's because it just dragged on too long. I think that's why I lost a little bit of Jenna Ortega, but she does an excellent job in the title role. And her roomie as well, Emma Myers, is a nice foil for her in that work. So generally a good cast. The characters work, some investable characters. As I said, I would like to see some of that 8 episodes, a bit more information about them rather than what we get. But yeah, as I say, I liked it. I like the presentation, the actors, the style, the way it was done. And it just felt undercooked though at the end of it. All the excitement of the wait and then the introduction of certain Adams Family's characters just gradually faded as the series went on. I mean, even the introduction of Uncle Fester, yeah, it was all right, but it didn't, obviously some people have likened me to Uncle Fester, very cruel and heartless. And, I do have a heart, guys, it's not very fair. But yeah, it's in that side actually, or in the middle. Yeah, so yeah, it just gradually faded as the series went on, the uniqueness of it. And in the end, it just seemed the Adams Family link was just like a memory rather than anything else, which is such a shame. Obviously, Uncle Fester sparks. So that's the pun. Sorry about that. Something, but no, it didn't quite work overall. We always had Thing, didn't we? As well, we always had Thing in it, but it just that element of it didn't sort of come out, which is fair enough. It's a standalone series, but I just wanted to see a little bit more. Had a little more Adams Family feel, which seems daft because we do get to see lots of them, but it just didn't seem good enough. It was okay. Um, just a bit familiar to what's come out before, not Adams Family-ish, just sort of high school supernatural goings on we've seen from Disney and stuff like that. I mean, I can go back further and think about things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is obviously far more adult, and things like Sabrina, which I loved. I loved the Sabrina the Witch series. You can compare it to stuff like that, but yeah, it doesn't add that much to what we've had before, unfortunately. For me, as I said, a little bit disappointing, but certainly watchable. But I wouldn't rave over it like a lot of people seem to be doing. I think it's a bit over the top. Let me know what you think, guys. Anyway, for this Wednesday series, as I say, if you're watching it, let me know what you think when you've watched it, or just let me think how it's going on. Or perhaps you've stopped watching it. Perhaps you got a bit fed up with it and you stopped watching it. Let me know. It'd be great to hear from you. Till we meet again. Oh, that's one thing, though. Please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.